Jocks and Jills, episode 26, presented as always by our friends at CCM. How you doing, guys? Happy summer. Tessa and Julia with you. Tessa, you're fresh off a week at the cottage. How you feeling? Relaxed, or is it like an adult vacation when you come back feeling more tired than when you set off?
Well, you see, with two youngins, it's like you're just bringing the chaos elsewhere. However, it was we rent this camp.
I saw
or
one
cottage.
really good a tweet one time that's like,
Yeah.
adult vacations with kids aren't vacations, they're just road games. Actually, was it you that sent me that?
I don't know,
I'm
man,
gonna
but
be
that's
embarrassed if
very
it
accurate
was.
and very true. However, that wasn't like the full truth for us because we go up with Ed's family. You rent a cottage, if you will, a lake house on the lake for a week every summer with Ed's family. And we have nieces and nephews that are like 14, 12, 10. So they literally were like
Perfect.
hands-on all-star babysitters. They were great. And then obviously there were times that our kids needed us and wanted us to go swimming. Annie went on the tube. Annie, my 2.5-year-old, we convinced her to go on the tube with us. Yeah. And we hit waves and she was like,
Did
"More
you go on the
bumps."
tube?
I was on with her. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I find it more impressive that you went on the tube than Annie going on the tube.
What do you mean?
Because you'd have to do, I'm 26 years old, you have to do a lot to convince my ass to get on the tube. I think I have
No way.
PTSD. My dad went too hard. I just don't want to be back there.
My Uncle Chris used to rip. Like, I feel like whenever we were misbehaving, they'd be like, "All right, Uncle Chris is driving." We'd be like, "Ah!" And obviously we'd get tossed. But like, I go on with my nieces and my nephews. We kneeboard. We're bringing kneeboarding back. I got up on the skis, did a little slalom. But yeah, honestly, shout out to my nieces and nephews. I love them. They truly took care of my kids, and they took a beating on the tube a couple days, like some epic wipeouts that very well could and should go viral. I want to show these videos so bad. I just got to confirm with all the aunts and uncles to make sure that I'm allowed to post these. But like, and they're tough, these kids, man. They even went back on after it, like, and they just beg for it. They beg for it. They want more of it. Obviously, there's a line as parents have to like toe just to make sure we're truly not hurting these kids. But like, I thought back in the day I was eager to get it on the tube, but these kids are tough and tougher than I am. But yeah, all in a good time. And I feel so bad. I don't know what it is, but like Annie, as much as we'd cover her and like put bug spray on her, she got eaten alive. Theo was outside like in shorts, no socks, 2 bites. I'm like, oh my God, this poor kid. So she's got like,
Isn't it funny how that happens? I was that kid. Yeah. Like,
the black fly bites,
delicious,
all in your hairline, the black fly bites. She got some good ones. I feel so bad. So like Benadryl bug cream, if anyone has young kids, holy smokes, thank goodness for that. But it was epic. We had an awesome time. It's a great weekend. We have a good one coming up at the end of August as well with my family. So it'll be interesting to see how the kids fare in their second outing at a cottage. They were really sad to leave this morning, as were we, obviously. But yeah, we're all a little tired, a little wiped. Nice to get back. Tank got back. We put her in our yard. She was like, "Where the hell am I?" She like literally walked off our yard and went to go get back in the truck. She was like, "Take me back."
I'm a lake girl now.
Yeah. So good. Anyways, that's all I got. I don't know how you holding up.
Good. I'm going to the cottage. My boyfriend's family this weekend. My sister's in town. I've had actually a similar experience with my sister being in town with my puppy because she works from home. She's a teacher, but in the summertime she does like French teaching online for kids around the province. Shout out, Georgia. Yep. You need your kid tutored. She's highly regarded. So she's been chilling with the puppy all week. Auntie time, Zia time. We try to lean into the Italianness. So
cute.
Our diluted children don't forget their roots eventually. But yeah, it's been kind of a chill week, Tess, and gonna have a chill weekend, hopefully.
I like that. And I like that for Enzo. Yeah. Cool.
He's been a good dude still, Tessa. Week 3 of having a puppy. And still been pretty good. Likes to pee outside.
Good.
Likes to bite ankles occasionally. But usually just between the hours of like 9 and 10 p.m. he turns into like a Furby or whatever those gremlins, whatever you're not supposed to feed past midnight.
That's when they get the zoomies. That's the zoomies. Yeah. That's what it is. That's dogs, man.
It's crazy. Like he just looks at me and then bites me right in the shin. I'm like, okay, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoomies.
So those are the headlines in Tessa and I's life over the past week. Not a ton going on in the PWHL. However, we do have to right a wrong that we committed last week, Tessa, because we
What?
had such an amazing chat with Carla MacLeod, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
went down so many different like little rabbit holes of thoughts and different like Carla's lived so many lives as like a player,
Yeah.
as a coach for
Mhm.
multiple international teams, and now she's like in the PWHL. She just lived so many lives that at the beginning of the interview, you kind of tease like, "Oh, cribber," and we'll get to why we call you that in a sec. And then
Never
unfortunately, we
did.
just never got there, and we are sorry,
I know.
guys. That's totally on me and Tessa,
You
and
want the story?
we need the story.
So Canada Games in 95, Cribber was like 12, okay, on Team Alberta. They did a team builder where they had to make a nickname for themselves. That's tough. I'm a nickname giver.
That's
I don't
horrible.
right? And your nickname had to start with the same letter of your name. So she was like, I got nothing. Like I'm 12. I don't even know. I don't know anything. And so the coaches, Mel, Kathy Berg, and I think Shirley Cameron, she said, gave her the name Crib, as in like we're baby sleep because she was the baby, right? The baby of the team. She was 12 on this
Yep.
Canada Game teams. And in 91 Canada Games, apparently Wick had a nickname called High Chair Haley because she was the youngest on the team as well, except Wick's high chair nickname didn't stick, but Cribber's did. So Crib, that's how Crib came along and hers stuck. We call Wick, by the way, Wickenheiser, we call her
Oh,
Chicken, some
that's
other silly
funny.
joke. We'll get Wick on the pod at some point, but she's busy with development camp right now. But yeah. Anyways, that's how Cribber's nickname
Yeah.
stuck and how she got it. 95 Canada Games. Needed to make your own nickname, which is really tough. With the same letter,
I
and
didn't
the
realize
coaches
it
did it
tracked
for her.
all the way back to when she was 12. I can't believe we didn't touch
12.
on that when we were talking about all the old Mel
Yeah.
stories.
95 Cribber.
Oh, that's great.
That's how she
Okay, so
got.
now that we've
Yeah.
established that and we've gotten that important news out of the way, a couple signings to go through tests in the PW over the past week or so. Boston's locked up a few of their draft picks, a couple of their draft picks, in Hannah
Yep.
Bilka and Sydney Bard.
Yep. I like
Exciting to see.
that.
Those two are going to be a big part of that team going forward. And they not brought back a vet, but they signed a vet, a Walter Cup champ in Emma Greco for 1 year
Yeah.
on the blue line.
Like that they signed Sydney Bard, good right-handed defenseman. And Greco, I mean, obviously she's got the experience under her belt and she's a champ, so she can pull from that. And it's just funny that, you know, went to Boston, the team that you faced. I like that. I think there's gonna be a lot of jockeying around, but whatever.
Right?
It's a good signing. Yeah, absolutely. New York had some signings as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they signed their 10th overall pick, Mine Island Pearson, the top SDHL defender for the past 3 seasons for the next 3 years. Oh man, I get so excited about like every signing in this league, Tessa, and I think it just speaks to how much talent there is. But Maya's going to be one that's I don't know how aware North American fans are of her, but God, she's going to be a monster for New York on the point.
I like it because the confidence is there, and she was like, "Sure, I'll dip out of the SDHL. I'm gonna come over, see what this league's all about, and bring" like, she's basically like, "I'm gonna bring my talents to the PWHL." That's what I felt like it was like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
she's gonna play good.
exactly.
Yeah, so I like it. Again, New York, I said it on our last pod, I'm so excited to see what they bring this season and how different of a team they are, than last season.
Yeah, and they've totally overhauled their coaching staff as well. They added a coach this week in Lauren
Mhm.
Williams. Kind of hilarious
Yes.
to me that she played at Wisco with Abby Rock, and I don't
Yeah.
know at all, like, what their dynamic is. Maybe you could speak to it a little bit more, but I'd love to know what
Yeah.
it is.
They were actually road roommates when, Abby was in her
No!
freshman year. Yeah, they were road roomies, so how funny is that? But, I asked Abby, I was like, "What's she like?" Like, as I don't like, as a person, I just you can tell me whatever you want, but, like, as a coach, and she was like she kinda had the same description as Carla where she likes to her approach is to, like, know more about the person that makes the player. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
To get the
Yeah,
most
it's
out of
pretty
them.
important modernly, honestly. Like, I think
Mhm.
that kinda has to be at the core of every coach's philosophy now, when it comes to the modern hockey player. Like, there's more there than just a player.
Yeah. Alright.
Ottawa, they finally announced their 2-year extension for Katerina Mrazova. I feel like we've commented on this 2 weeks in a row because we thought it
Mhm.
was gonna happen, and it was rumored that it had happened already. So, that is official, 2 more years of Mrazova in Ottawa, and what a stud she is.
No
That game where she got
surprise.
2 goals after the injury.
Yeah. Had to
signature
do it.
moment.
Absolutely. Great signing. That she brings a lot to a team, not only skill wise, but off ice as well. You've heard some of her teammates talk about her in some of our past episodes, and I'm just a big fan. Silky Mitts on this kid. I dig.
Yeah. Speaking of fan favorites, Carly Jackson extended
Yup.
for 1 year in Toronto. They've got their goaltending trio locked up. She only dressed for one game this year in the Pride game for Toronto this season, but
Mhm.
beloved by fans, just an awesome character. And we heard Soupy talk last week about how much she provides in that goaltending trio off the
And that's
ice
just
and
it.
on the
That
bench.
that's why this is news, and that's why it's a headline. You know, you need good people in and around your locker room, and she is one of them. And I think that, you know, they're going to bring amazing things to this team yet again this year. The team obviously has Reagan Kirk, a new young rook in the mix on the back end. So CJ, I think, is going to
Yeah.
be, you know, tasked with showing her the ropes and just getting her, you know, comfortable and you know, into the swing of things with the Toronto team. It's going to be a fantastic goaltending trio. I'm excited to see what they bring.
Last signing to announce, Montreal has extended Claire Dalton for 1 year. Claire Dalton, who's like a historic franchise player, got the first goal in their team's history, got the first hat trick in their team's history, and just was kind of a steady Eddie part of that roster this year.
Yeah, I was waiting to see what was going to happen here, and nice to see that they re-upped. I felt like, you know, you talk to Ambrose, you know, her about their team. Her name constantly comes up, so nice to see Claire Dalton's going to be back with the team to hopefully help them push them to, you know, a Walter Cup final this year. Obviously, that team fell a little bit short, so nice to have players come back with a little bit of that sour taste in their mouth too. You know.
Oh, you're so right. Nothing drives you like spite. Don't I know it? Last thing, headlines-wise, the ESPYs happened. We're recording on
Yes.
Friday right now. You guys will hear this on Monday, but the ESPYs happened last night. A couple
Mhm.
nominations for the PWHL, but man, the girls showed up and showed out. They looked so good on the red carpet. I feel like women's hockey players have such a presence in the women's sport landscape right now. I specifically have to shout out Marie-Philippe Poulin
Yeah.
in that blue dress. I've never seen her
Rocked
wear
it.
blue like that, I don't think, Tess. And the slick back bun. You could tell
Yeah.
that ever since Emma Malte did that slick back bun for her at the PWHL Awards, she
Yeah.
has adopted that hairstyle. So I love it.
I
It's
told her
looking great.
she looks like a successful lawyer. I was like, "You rock it. You own it. You should just do that all of the time." Emma was like, "I'm doing it for everyone." There's 2 others that had it at the awards. I can't remember who it was, but she did the slick back look for them as well. So shout out to Emma Malte and her hairdressing skills.
Tess, I
Maybe
feel like
it's
I need to see you with the slick back look.
we can try. One
Okay,
day.
cool.
I'll call Emma.
I think Emma
I'll
has to
come
do it though.
I'll just pop up
And
on
your
here one
eyebrows.
day with the slick back look. With the
Yeah,
laminated
that's what
brows.
we need. I the laminated brows. I try the
Yeah.
slick back look. I kind of look like a beanhead though. Like some people look stylish
Same.
and some people look like a founding father, and I unfortunately
don't
am in the founding father territory.
Dude, I don't have a big enough head. Like the section from the top of my ear to the top of my head isn't regular adult size. Like I can wear kids hats and they're still like a little big. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah?
"Nah." Yeah, I got a stupid shaped head. Like it's not normal. Anyways, so I struggle wearing hats, but I wear them when I have to. I don't
Good
know.
to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah,
I
little
think you
head.
rock a hat well. I'm surprised to hear that, honestly.
Don't. I don't. I'm sorry. Anyways,
All right.
that's all I
All
got. Oh,
right.
from the
That's enough of
ESPYs,
Tessa and
highlight
our weird
one
shaped
highlight.
domes.
I got one highlight from the ESPYs when I was stoked to see Serena Williams hosting, and she kind of gave it that, you know, everybody should watch women's sports because after all, it's just sports or whatever. And then she shouted out, except for you, Harrison Butker, we don't need you. I was like, "No, mic drop."
Ever.
Well,
Don't watch ever.
Ever.
Yeah. Screw that guy.
Yeah.
It's a good night though.
Great
It's a
night.
good night. And we have another exciting interview coming up for our Jocks and Jills listeners, Tessa. We starved you guys of goalies all season long, and Tessa and I, both being goalie lovers, we're not going to continue this starvation, even though, you know, we just fed you a little bowl of Campbell's chicken noodle soup a couple weeks ago. We have another awesome goalie lined up for you this week. So here is our interview with Emerance Maschmeyer. And here she is. It's Emerance Maschmeyer from PWHL Ottawa. She's obviously a world champion, an Olympic champion, a social media stud. She like rocks our world with her TikToks and her Instagrams and her excellent lip syncing abilities and obviously her puck saving abilities. So thank you so much for joining us today, Emerance. Where are you coming from today? Are you in Ottawa? Are you in Alberta? I know you guys did a little bit of hopping around this summer, but are you home now?
We did a little hopping around, but we're now in Ottawa. Baby is due shortly, so it's kind of, forcing us to settle down a little bit and stop the travel. So yeah, we're in Ottawa.
And how is baby mama feeling?
She's feeling great, actually. It's she said this is the best she's felt all pregnancy, which I don't know, like all the different things that I've read, that doesn't make any sense. So that's all right. She's helping with all the renos, helping with everything, so I'm not complaining.
Aw, that's awesome. Okay, we'll get to kind of life right now and this year and what a crazy past couple years you've had soon. But we always like to go all the way back to start these interviews. So can we take it all the way back to the farm in Bruderheim, Alberta? We just had Emma Shelton on not too long ago, and we got to talk about her farm experiences. And I feel like there's definitely a correlation now that we're talking about hockey players from the farm. Like there's got to be a correlation between the hard work that you grow up accustomed to on the farm and the hard work it takes to be an elite athlete at the level you and Ella are at. So tell us about growing up on the farm, one of 5 siblings, and the memories that come with that.
Yeah, well, it's actually funny. One of the first times I had really had in-depth conversations with Ella, we started realizing she grew up on a farm, I grew up on a farm, we both have German shepherds. We started talking about all these things that we used to do on the farm and all the random tasks that you would have to do, whether it's weed picking, rock picking, staining fences, the worst jobs ever. But we bonded over that. We're no one understands this. And I remember us explaining it to Sarah Nurse, and she was like, what do you guys mean? What does that mean? But I guess with that, like you said, there's a lot of hard work that kind of goes into being growing up in a farm family. And for me, I grew up with 4 siblings. So kind of there's 2 seasons, farming season, hockey season, and both required hard work. But I think, it was just the thing to do was to play hockey. It was cold out in Alberta. We had our outdoor rink at home, and we spent a ton of time on the ice. And luckily, I had 4 really good shooters, so I got to improve quite quickly when I was a young goalie.
What kind of farm was it? Dairy, grain, or
grain farm? Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Grain. So picking rocks was a big theme in your life. How does that? What happens? Your parents are go over there and pick rocks, or how does that even work? I too am confused.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing. Basically, whenever you acquire a new piece of land, sometimes there are obstacles in the way, so rocks being one. Sometimes it's roots, so there's root picking as well. So we sometimes would have parties. We'd invite our friends and bring everyone to go rock picking, and then we'd hang out after. It was just a way to, some free labor, I guess. But rock picking, essentially, we get dropped off in the field, and oftentimes it was my siblings and I, and we would make piles of rocks, but they had to be good sized rocks, so we'd always kind of chirp each other if they were too small. And then my dad would come back with his tractor, and we put the rocks in the bucket, and he would take them off to the side. So it really character building, I would say.
Character building is definitely the way to put it.
Your dad is a character. Your dad's a character. Julia and I love running into him at tournaments and stuff. And I feel like he would be a really fun but tough dad to grow up with, especially on a farm. Farm living's no joke. So he's obviously driving you out on the tractor and just chucking you out in the field, right? And with a bottle of water or something. And then it's okay, well, what are we doing this week? And it's we're doing that next field. Was there ever a moment growing up where your dad really just toyed with you guys or maybe said he was never coming back or something fun? I'm not saying that he ever said that, but a typical dad
Oh,
joke.
my dad toys. My dad toys. He's a wild card, so you never really know what's going to come out of his mouth. So I apologize ahead of time, or I guess for anything he has said. But he's a lot of fun, and he loves, there's a lot of things that I feel he told us growing up that I'm still not sure if it's true or not. So yeah, I guess the one thing one time we went rock picking. He dropped us off, so the 5 of us in a field, and it was a pretty hot day, so we had our, our water, our lunches, and it felt like we were honestly out there forever. It could have been maybe 1 or 2 hours, but it felt like all day. And he dropped us off, and he said, "You see that barn over there?" We're all looking, and he said, "A little girl died in that barn, so don't go near it." We're like it's haunted. And so all day we're all just like staring at this barn, like we should not go over there. But honestly, I don't even know. Like it could be true. I really don't know. So I should probably
I'd love
ask.
to think that it was just like dangerous, like there was something dangerous in there, and he didn't want you to go over there.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Actual farm lore is that someone really did die in there.
it could
Maybe.
be. I mean, he might have been telling the truth, but that's the thing with him. Like you never know.
I love
That is
that.
so good. So you're where do you fall in the order of siblings again?
I'm number 4 of 5.
Okay, cool. Almost baby. And they're all defenders except for you. So one would think that maybe you were almost a defenseman, but you call yourself a forward at heart, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yes.
Why is that?
Well, it's actually funny. I think all of us started out as forward. I feel like that's pretty typical when you're little. You just want to score goals.
Yeah, score goals.
Well, at least I did. I don't know. And my siblings all kind of slowly started transitioning, being defenders. And then when I was 7 years old, I switched to goalie. I played goalie and forward for a little bit, but I was a pretty shy kid. And that Christmas, well, I mentioned I liked playing goalie a couple times when we'd alternate in that. And then my parents got me gear, and I was shy, and I was like, well, I guess I'm a goalie now. Like I just kind of like just switched, which is so funny now because I loved being a player, but I really enjoyed playing goalie as I got better. But
And
yeah,
that
to
seems
be
like the
honest,
opposite. Like usually kids have to beg for goalie
I
gear. Your
know.
parents are like, "Here it is, kid, get in there."
Yeah, insane. But I also
meanwhile-
think they just wanted a goalie so badly. Like they needed someone to shoot on.
Yeah, it's gotta
You
be
needed
somebody.
a full lineup. That's so true.
Yeah. But yeah, I ended up switching, and then I feel like since then, like any opportunity I can get on the ice and be a forward, like put me in.
You and
Oh,
and
that's
Kim
awesome.
St Pierre. Kim St Pierre is an awesome forward player. I had
Makes
her.
sense.
We Olympic year 2010. They would like let us scrimmage on like a random off day. Like guys go out and have some fun. Kim had the same size feet as me, and she's like, "Yo, do you want to swap? You can wear my gear." I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'll be a goalie." Brutal, terrible goaltender. I should never be a
Right.
goalie. She's out there with all my stuff on, like pulling moves. I'm like, "Give me my stuff back. Like you are making me look bad. Please stop wearing my things."
I believe
that's
it. Like I
you.
feel like
What's up with you
most
guys?
goalies, I don't know. We're all like closeted forwards. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure, but even like Erica Howe, like she is so good. Like I actually haven't really seen her play, but I've heard really good things. But I think
Really?
it's a lot of goalies. Like we're all just locked up for so long that it's like when you release us, it's it's dangerous.
When
You know
you release us.
When we finally get released. You know what it probably is? You guys see all of the moves. You're watching the entire, you're just constantly learning and absorbing all of this stuff that finally when you're released, you're like, all right, my turn to show you guys how this is done.
Really?
Just a guess.
Yeah, I honestly think that's true. Like we see a lot, and we see a lot of different situations in front of us. So I feel like as a forward, like you kind of know what to do around the net. Like for us, it's like
Yeah.
we always want to tell our forwards what to do, but they don't really believe us. But it's like when we have the opportunity, we're gonna do that. Like take away the goalie's eyes, like where to stand on a rebound. Like there's things that you learn as a goaltender. So yeah, I would say that's mine.
So all 5 of you guys played elite level hockey growing up. You needed a goalie. Off-season training, we've heard, was quite interesting in the Maschmeyer household. Can you tell us a little bit about the off-season circuits that were apparently getting ran on the farm?
I would love to know your source. I can't deny. Yeah, we had workout programs.
Workout programs.
Let's hear
Basically,
it.
we'd have our little do-a-tang. We'd go out and
Wait, would your dad write them out for you?
yeah.
Oh my god! I didn't realize it was a written plan in a do-a-tang.
Oh my
Like the
gosh.
do-a-tangs that had the metal folding little things that you
Oh,
bent
yeah.
down on the... Oh wow,
Full
that's
on.
really cool. Whoops.
I honestly like can't remember everything. Maybe I block it out sometimes, but like I'll give you examples of things that we did. So we had like a Quonset, which is like a big metal like shed, we could call it, and we had the one side was like a shooting side, so you just like target
Sick.
practice, like made lines, we'd shoot from different spots.
Awesome.
And then a little further down in the Quonset, he spray painted like fast feet drills on the ground. So we'd like on dots where it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'd have to like hop around to the different numbers that someone would call. We had like a reaction ball, we had like a ladder, obviously different cones for different fast meat drills. And then there was a station outside, and this is the funniest station, but there was this tree that we would cross check.
I love that.
Cross check it over and over again. And I kid you not, this tree had to be chopped down like recently because it was dead. There was so much taken out
Do you
of
have
it.
photos of it? That is so funny. And
I
what
don't, but I
stick
can
would
find.
you use to cross check it? Like, would it be
Yeah, not your
like
good one.
Was there a designated
No, not my
wooden
good
stick?
one. Not the Z bubble. It was like something
Yeah.
else. I don't even know. I
Z-bubble.
can't remember, but it was like taking your anger out on the tree, probably because we had to be doing these drills. But anyways, yes, sprint practice, like it was like everything. But honestly, like a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing it.
So
I'm
technically,
sure. And even just
the-
complaining with your sibling would create a
Yeah.
good bonding experience.
Yeah. Yeah, we love
And-
like bringing up all these stories. My dad's kind of like, "No, I did not do that." And we're like, "Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
you did." And
you
then
did.
he's like,
That's
"You know
what they
what?
always say.
Yeah.
The story always changes.
But you have 5 of
Yeah.
us who are like, "Yes, you did." But he's like, "I don't regret it at all." I'm like, "You shouldn't."
Of
Like,
course not.
all your kids made it to a pretty high level in hockey, and so at the end of the day, like I said, there wasn't a lot to do on the farm, but we were kind of just a big hockey family that played hockey all the time and lived and breathed it.
family bonding, cross-checking a tree down together. Is there anything better? It's hilarious.
No,
If you
absolutely
have
not.
any pictures or videos
It
of
is
any part of
hilarious.
that, I need to see all of this. It's so great.
Oh,
Your
Brothers
brothers
have to
played
get,
country
like-
should have been like a memorial.
Yeah, oh my god. Just get it bronzed.
Yeah.
you should see the net in the Quonset too. It's like dented back. Like we still have it, but like the posts are like C's. Like they're so bad. It's so good. I'll get my sister to send some photos so I can send them along to you guys.
Please. Thank you so
The
much.
tree
I
doesn't
love
really exist anymore. That's the problem. Like
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah.
So
That's
we
fair.
told it.
Sad day. But you did what you were told.
Always.
So when I moved from Thunder Bay to Toronto, I remember feeling like, what the hell have I done with my life? Have I made a horrible mistake? And that was like pretty different. I can't imagine moving from, and I guess, I don't know, you would have been well taken care of there as a student athlete, but how the heck did you choose Harvard? And what was it like going from like the farm in small town Alberta to Harvard and Boston?
Boston.
It's
Like
actually
Boston, it's
insane
not-
when yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so different than what I grew up surrounded by, and I remember my mom like dropping me off at school, like moving me in for freshman year, and she started crying, which is really sad, but she started crying. She goes, "How can I leave you in this big city?" And I was like, "Mom, I'll be fine." But in my head, I was like, "Honestly, I don't know either." Like this.
Oh
is
my god, I
insane.
had that exact same experience. I remember standing at Ryerson, being in this like cell block of a dorm room, and my mom's crying and she's upset and she's like, I don't even know if I can make it here. And I'm like, I
Right?
sure you can't. You gotta leave so I can cry alone. Like, please, we can't.
Yeah,
both
you're
be
trying to
doing this.
like act tough because you're like, I had no other option here. Like,
Yeah,
Mom,
I'm already
totally
here. My bags are here.
Yeah, but I grew up. My sister, like, she went to St. Lawrence and Syracuse, so she did the NCAA route like before I got to my years of looking and searching for colleges, and so I had a goal of mine was to go play NCAA, and at the time when I was younger, I went to a tournament, the Chowder Cup tournament in Boston when I was 13 with that guy spring hockey team. And so when we went to the tournament, there were like tours of Northeastern, Harvard, probably BU. And I remember going to Harvard and they gave us a tour of the men's room and kind of everything men's hockey. And I turned to my mom and I said to her, I want to go here someday. And this is like when I was 13. And she kind of looked at me and she's like, okay, like, keep up your studies, like, work hard. Like,
Yeah.
she's probably like, this kid, like, I honestly know my mom has a gem, so she probably truly believed in me. But now thinking about it, like, now, like, thinking that now, I'm like 13 years old, saying that, like, there were a lot of exams to be had still. So I don't know, how I thought it would be that easy to attain that goal. But pretty much I set out to do that, and I still explored a lot of other universities. And when it came down to the decision, I was like, in my heart, I knew I wanted to go to Harvard the whole time. I just felt that maybe I wouldn't get in, and that was I needed to have some backup plan. But yeah, I ended up fortunately getting in and getting to go to my dream school. So, but yes, definitely a crazy shift in environment going from the farm and that farm lifestyle and playing for the same team, going to school with the same kids, playing hockey with the same kids, to going to Harvard where you're meeting all different types of people in a big city with crazy drivers. It was just I never experienced.
We had Emma Buckles on, and she was mentioning that she had a class with one of the Obama sisters, and that some of her friends were actually like Snapchat friends with her and stuff. So, like, you're talking about going from this farm, small town Alberta, to now in Boston, which is the furthest thing from a quiet city, to like the most famous school in the world. And now you're sitting in classes with like these geniuses. So, have you rubbed elbows with anybody cool like that, or can you tell us? I guess.
Well, I know like Ray, I guess it would have been my last year. One of the Kennedy boys was going to school there.
Oh,
And at the time he was like kind of dating Taylor Swift, so that was a big deal.
I was just gonna say, was it in
What?
that era?
Yes. And so I remember I was in the Starbucks with Carly Heffernan and we were looking out the window and he walked by and you're like, oh my God. But I feel like we were more excited about like the Taylor Swift part, not that he was a Kennedy.
Completely fair.
So I guess him, like, it's kind of a crazy person to rub elbows with, which, I mean, we didn't really rub our elbows, we saw him through a window. I don't know, there was, like, it's crazy the different backgrounds that these kids would come from. Like, I met a girl whose father built the tallest or the biggest skyscraper in Japan, and I'm like, "What?"
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
dad has a silo,
"Well,
so
we farm."
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
you
trees.
should see
I
the
can
size
rock.
of that thing too.
Like, just a totally different life, right? Like, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And they're all talking about, their nannies and different, like, it's just a different world. But there's also, there's just a ton of different people. But that, like, was eye-opening for sure. I was like, okay, these people do exist.
That
Do
was
I
the
fit
biggest
in?
thing for me.
Do I fit in
Yeah, I
here?
was
Do I
like, I didn't
belong?
think this was real. I thought it was just on TV that people were rich like
Right?
this and had lives like
Yeah.
this. Life comes at
Exactly.
you
Wait a minute, the
fast,
OC
eh?
is real?
Yeah.
Yeah, very shocking information.
Yeah.
We just had Kristen Campbell on to walk us through her. Well, first she started the conversation by saying, I don't really have a pregame routine, and then walked us through her,
Stop.
like, hydration routine and, like, her peppermint halo. So,
Same.
we've gotta ask you because you seem to be, like, at peace with your goaliness. Tell us your pregame goalie routine that I'm sure is a little bit eccentric.
It is, but honestly, she would make me look very, very, very normal with my routine because I've seen hers and I don't know why she thinks it's standard, but it's just absolutely not. But yeah, my pregame routine is it's pretty extensive, but I like to say it's like more of a preparation thing. It's not like I must do it, but I like to plan my pregame routine the day before because the day of a game, I want to have no decision. Like, I don't want to make any decisions.
Right.
For me, it's like not second guessing what I'm doing and where I'm spending my time. So yeah, I guess I list out the night before, like how my day is gonna look and if I skate, if I don't skate, because like I'm okay with switching my pregame routine. Let's say if I've played a couple games that week, I probably won't skate that morning just because it'd be a little bit of overkill. But yeah, I do like to skate. I kind of plan when my meals are. I have a pregame walk. Usually when I wake up, I have a nap, obviously, napping. Wake up from a nap, go for a pregame walk. I like to do like mobility. I do sound crazy. Mobility after the walk, and then I do like some words of affirmation. So I basically like a big psych up. Like I just write all the things I'm really good at, and just kind of like build my confidence up before heading to the rink, kind of getting ready heading to the rink. So yeah, a little bit, I guess a little bit extensive, but for me, it's just figuring out when I wake up, how am I feeling? Am I feeling a little sluggish? Am I feeling high energy? And I need to kind of like maintain that and not burn out. Am I feeling like a little less confident that day, more confident? Like whatever it is, just kind of figuring out where to get, that perfect level of performance. So yeah, it's a little bit of trial and error for me for sure, but it's something that I didn't really take seriously until I feel like in college we kind of had those like crazy rituals. Like as a teen, there's things you have to do like the moment you wake up till game time, but they weren't necessarily things that would prepare me physically or mentally. It was just like superstitions. But now I feel like after playing the CW, where we didn't really have routines because oftentimes we're hopping off the flight straight to the rink and maybe not even getting to change into your dress clothes. And so I kind of got rid of all of my superstitions. But now that we're back to having very structured game days, I'm like, okay, it was a little bit fun. Like it was fun this year to trial and error all the different kinds of routines that I could kind of incorporate. But yeah, so it's taken me a long time to get here.
Yeah. I like your health and wellness stuff. Like, is there anything that you've added in the past couple seasons that you feel has made a really big difference for you?
I would say the big one for me was the words of affirmation. There's actually Clarky who told me that she was doing that before games, and that was Olympic year. And she said, it's just a way to kind of acknowledge all the things I'm really good at, make yourself feel good, like kind of like pump yourself up as if you're your best friend. And I'm like, oh, I really like that. Like sometimes, a season's long and there's times where you start, you doubt yourself or you don't feel very good or something's just not clicking for whatever reason. So to just kind of sit down and just basically tell yourself that you're great. Like how often do you do that, right? So that's something I incorporated into my day-to-day routine. And I don't know, I feel like after that, like I'll get my dress clothes on and it's like my armor's on, I look good, I'm ready to go, I feel good. Like it's just kind of a mindset shift in that moment.
So the night before, I'm sensing just some similarities between you and Soupy and your goaliness. I have to ask, when you're planning out your game day the night before, is it in written form in an agenda like she has, where she has all of her time slots filled in?
You know what's funny? I haven't listened to her game day routine, so I need to listen to it because I'm very curious now. But yes, it is. It's like
It is.
not like to the T, but it's like time frames, kind of like the windows of time. Like if I have, let's say, a nap period, like I'll have a window of time where I can adjust. Obviously, meals late or whatever, like things will adjust. But yeah, I guess I'm a little bit crazy too.
It's nice
It's a
to have a
goalie thing.
plan.
It's a goalie thing.
But I'm also like very type A, and like that's not just planning is not just game day. That's like my entire life. So
Same with
I like
Do you
Soupy.
find that? Yeah. Do you find that's a common thing with goalies? Or is it one way or the other, like one extreme or the other?
I think
Right.
it's one extreme or the other.
Yeah.
No, I think like and I only have like my sample of goalies I've played with, but I feel like
What
I
about in
feel
your
like
household? Like, are you both really organized? Like,
Yeah. No, I think Lacasse is the other way.
Really?
It's completely different.
but well,
That's so
she
funny.
is she's different. It's like she on game day she was very intense, like headphones on, like very internal, which is like totally different than me. Like game days, yes, I'm very like planned out, but I love hanging out with my teammates. I love like laughing. I love playing spike ball. Like I'm doing all these external things because for me to be in my head listening to music, like that would drive me crazy. But
Right.
for her, it's like that I don't like. She didn't have her like list of things she needed to do. It was almost like go with the flow. But when she got to the rink, it was like she's like the towel goalie, like the one that's like that's not me. I'm like chatting in between periods. And Sippy's a towel goalie, by the way.
Is she? She
A
didn't tell
towel
us
goalie
that.
is like a new genre of goalie. That's hilarious.
Did you
I feel like Troy
I
Ryan
want
has alluded to that a couple times though, when he talks about like the
really?
trio they had in Toronto and how we always kept it light when Soupy was being serious type of thing, and CJ was around to keep it light too. So I could see her being a towel gal.
Yeah, I feel
You
like she had a good balance. Like, well, she needed the two of them to balance her out for sure. Like, that makes sense to me. Like, Howie is someone she's always making jokes and she's just kind of a good vibes person, you know, no matter what, like, she'll make you feel like you're having the best game of your life, even if you're not. And
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know CJ well, but I feel like CJ's just an awesome person to be around. And again, very easygoing. So probably a perfect support group for Soup.
I like that. Speaking of pregame routines, and you're so regimented in your stuff, I need you to talk about the time you left a skate guard on and you fell onto the ice. But then that game, you had like the game of your life. It was like you were lights out there. I'm pretty sure. Did you get a shutout that game?
I think so.
I'm like
That
900%
sounds
sure
better than
that
I
you
can
did.
remember.
100% you got a shutout that
I
game.
believe I did, yeah. Yeah.
So
That
is this a part of now the pregame routine? Is that a superstition that you're incorporating?
well, I had a couple of girls after the game saying, "Well, now you need to do that every game." I'm like, "Are you crazy?" And like you say,
Well,
goalies are weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, what's actually funny is going out for the first period, Scams is always behind me and we'll do a little tap, and normally she'll check for skate guards, and
I like
was
how
about
you
to
left
walk
that out of the superstitions.
yeah, it's too hot. That's
yeah,
too
none
fun.
of them.
Yeah. And then, well, that's more of her thing, obviously.
Okay.
Anyways, she normally checks my skate guards, and I was about to walk out, and I was like, "Hey, no, oops, I forgot to get my skate guards stocked. Had to stop the whole line. Took my skate guards off, and I was like, oh, that would have been ridiculous if I went out with my skate guards." And we were laughing. Go out for the first period. Whatever happened. Second period rolls around. I forget my skate guards. Like, I just had this experience where I was like, could not forget. Yes. So I skate out. Obviously, I eat it hard, but like kind of gracefully. Now that I see the video, it felt
It
worse.
didn't even look that bad.
No, everyone thought I just fell. So my whole team's like skating by, like, like she just ate it.
Scams
Like,
was the only
thought I
one.
just tripped. But Scams didn't even realize. Like, I was like, come help, I need help, because I couldn't get up. Like, there's just, like, there's nothing I could have done. I couldn't even reach my feet. Like, and I have these, like, this glove and blocker. Like, what am I supposed to do? And then she finally realized, and she's like, oh my gosh. So grab the skate guards, and I don't know. I think in those moments, you just need to laugh. You're like, yeah, like, we're trying to be so intense, you know, around hockey, and that'll make you laugh.
Wasn't the other team's goalie in the net already, like stretching and warming up, and you like bailed right next to them?
Yes. Who was it in net? Do we play Minnesota?
I think it was Minnie. Was
or
it Rennie?
Frankel? No, it was Frankel.
Oh, it was Boston.
It was one of the American goalies. That's all I remember. That's funny. But I remember, like, I fell right beside her crease. I don't know. I kind of just think I blacked out that whole experience, I guess. But yeah, I was like playing there, like, help, help.
Oh, that's good. You guys seem like you have so much fun in Ottawa. Like the whole
Yeah.
group just seems like a really good time.
Honestly, we do. And I feel like we're all like similar character people, which I didn't know how that would go, but it was a lot of fun. I just feel like we all kind of had that same, like, we're not super outgoing, like externally loud people, like the group as a whole.
Yeah.
But I feel like we had like our own inside jokes. We all just got along really well and had like a lot of meaningful conversations, and we just wanted to spend time with one another and not a lot of conflict, which is pretty unusual for a new group of people to come together and not kind of have that storming phase. But I feel like we as like a group of people, we just got along really well. It was so much fun.
It's awesome.
And like, what other team would plan a whole gender reveal? Like, how did that?
Oh my gosh.
How did you? So Jenner and Clark knew the gender. Did anybody
Yes.
else, or just those two?
No, just those two. So we
Okay.
had gotten we did like blood work pretty early on in the pregnancy, and And we held on to this link, like this mysterious link for so long. We knew the gender was, like, if we clicked it, we'd see the gender, and we were like, okay, let's just hold off. Like, we didn't really know what we wanted to do or if we wanted to find out. Like, we just had the option. And then we're like, well, let's do something fun. Like, we don't want to just look at it and then, like, that's a surprise. So, we were on a road trip, and Clark and I were just kind of chatting about different, like, gender reveal options. And she was like, well, what if we do, like, an obstacle race? And I was like, yeah, like, that's brilliant. Like, that'd be so much fun. Obviously, there's a lot of planning to be had, but Jenner was in, obviously, right away. She was so excited. And we didn't give the link to them until the night before because, well, Jenner would be able to have, like, stone face. Like, she's just so, like, she's so good, you know?
Yeah.
She has that stoic face. But Clarky was like, I wouldn't be able to look at you without giving it away. Like, I would give you a look and you would know. And I'm like, that's true. So anyways, they're the ones that came up with the obstacle race, and then we sent them the link and kind of just told the team, like, the week before, hey, we're doing this after practice. You got to pick team boy or girl. We got some kind of like decorations, noisemakers, and got a couple of the team videographers to come out and capture the moment. So yeah, it was awesome. Honestly, it was so much fun to have the team be a part of it. Our team loves Jenner's kids, like Jenner and Cuddy's kids, and every time they're around, they're just so excited. So they've been asking us, like, all the time, when are you guys gonna have a kid? Like, they were so, even with the announcement, like, they were so excited, and the girls have just been so involved and wanting to know every little bit of the pregnancy. So we felt it was a very fitting way.
Yeah, even the way you told the team, you guys were all, like, lined up for a picture, right? And then you're like, Genevieve and I are pregnant, and everyone freaked. It was so good.
So good. Well, actually, Haley Irwin, Coach Haley, she was the one filming it, because I was like, she knew before, and I was like, can you capture this? And you could hear it in the video. She's like, everyone get in line. Like, she's like, wants it to be perfect. Like, she did this very, like, mother tone. It was like, everyone look this way. Like, it was it's so funny, but she was so stressed from the moment.
Yeah.
But anyways, and yeah, it's very cute to see all the different reactions.
Actually, wait, that just reminded me of something. Has Julia Gosling, I think, referred to you as team mom? Like, she made you were like motherly to her on the team. Do you think that being team mom, would you consider yourself like one of the team moms? Has it prepared you for actual motherhood?
Yeah, like well,
you'll find out.
That kind of makes me feel a little bit old, but that's all right. I think I actually am now, but that's okay. I'm accepting it. But I feel like when you become a mother, like, that makes you a little bit older within the hockey world. Like, everyone thinks Jenner's so old, and I'm like, yeah, she's so old. She's like a couple years older than me.
I was gonna say, she's only a couple years older than you.
I'm someone. I know. I just have to play into it. But yeah, I feel like being, like, I've always been that person that loves to have, like, meaningful conversations with people, and I'm often not, like, the big loud voice in the group, but I like to just have, like, kind of one-on-one deep meaningful conversations, and a lot of times people feel comfortable coming to me for whatever it is, and I've loved being that ear for a lot of people. And so I feel like that's maybe why Julia has said that. It's just, and we've also been roommates a couple of times, so we had a lot of good combos. But I think that, yeah, it's definitely gonna set me up well for being a mother of our child.
Yeah,
we're
excited for you
too. We can't wait to see. We're really excited for both of you guys. We hope the rest of your summer is, like, relaxing and enjoyable. We appreciate you taking some time to come chat with us in the midst of all the madness. But oh my gosh, congratulations, exciting things coming, and thanks so much for stopping by and hanging with us.
Of course, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
I feel like fathers and mothers across the nation need to take note of the cross-checking tree. You know, what is it, 4 out of 5 pro or semi-pro players in that family?
Youngest bro, I think, is a pilot, which, I mean,
that's pretty good too. Get your kids in the yard, hand them a wooden stick, have them cross-check a tree. That was an incredible story.
Get them after your least favorite tree. How's that? Got a tree you want removed, kids?
That's so true.
Grab your duo tank.
And then it'll be dead.
Yeah.
And the city will have to cut it down.
Yep.
Play smarter, not harder, guys.
There you go.
Thank you, Emerance. That was an amazing chat. We are so excited to for her and Genevieve see their little guy come into play in the next couple of months here. So thought it'd be fun to see the PWHL Ottawa family grow. And like she was saying, already a couple cute little kids on that roster with the Jenners. Little bebes.
Little June bug leading the way. She's kicking down doors, that kid. She's awesome. I don't know if you've ever met little June bug. She's so cute.
I've actually never met her, but like she has left an imprint on me with how funny she is at hockey games. Like she so clearly identifies her mom on the ice, and she's like banging, like, come say hi to me. Like, hello. Yeah. Have you not noticed that I'm standing here? She's so cute.
Yeah, she's a force. I love it.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Second goalie episode. We will not starve the people of goalies any longer, Tessa. Thank you to our sponsor, CCM, putting this on every week. We got some fun stuff coming with CCM soon for their 125th anniversary. We're excited to take you guys to Montreal with us, tell you a little bit about that next month, see what's going on there. Thank you to Nobis as well, who tricks out all of our interviewees with some fun stuff from their incredible line of clothes. Love you, Nobis. And thank you guys for listening every week. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, on X, Instagram, wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate if you guys drop us a review or comment or a like or anything like that. It helps us out. So appreciate you guys. Enjoy this week, and we will talk to you next Monday.